Hi, and welcome back to my channel. We are going to be talking about love on the spectrum for us. We all experience things differently, and again, the old saying goes, if you've met one autistic person, you've met one autistic person. So these are each of our experiences concerning love. I'm going to be a princess and I'm going to marry a prince. I'm going to ride off on his horse and live happily ever after. That's not real love, and that's not what happens. That is some fantasy created, and sometimes we have to grow up to realize that. For me, even in my teen years, I didn't understand much about love. I just knew that boys seemed to want to date me or be interested in me, and I enjoyed the attention. Relationships with them seemed less complicated. It was less communicating verbally emotions. So I was able to handle that. So I always felt at home being in a relationship with a boy. It was much easier for me to be my bossy self around a boy and say what I really thought and unmask a bit more. Around girls, I always felt like I had to have a mask on to fit in and to have friends. I guess I would say I enjoyed dating because I could be myself. Another thing I noticed about myself when I was dating was I would kind of pick up on the interests of whatever my boyfriend's was. Like, for instance, I dated a guy named Chris, and he loved baseball cards and rap. So guess what? My new interests were baseball cards and rap music. I wanted to find a way to connect, in that way. So whatever music they liked, whatever their hobbies were, whatever they were into, I was going to be into also. I did experience some abusive relationships, and I was very naive, and my parents didn't know to warn me about the things that boys can be capable of in a relationship if you're not aware. And so there was some hard lessons learned for me, but it ended up with a happy ending. I did not ride off into the distance with my knight in shining armor, but I rode off in the distance with my husband, Jeff. We rode off together in his Toyota Celica. Mariana says, I've never been asked out and never had a positive outcome after approaching a guy. It's puzzling for me to even see a married autistic woman. Like, how did that happen? Hester says, never. I wish for it, but apparently I was totally unapproachable because of my perceived weirdness. Right now, I am 11 years divorced, just walked away from a toxic romantic relationship 3 months ago, but I've made peace with who I am. I am accepting myself, bettering myself, and happily single for now, although I do wish for a good special person to come by again. Not being socially active, I do miss someone to share things with and discuss things with. God's butterfly. Oh, thank heavens, I thought I was the only one. I had problems around girls. I always felt like they didn't like me very well, so I was hanging out with the guys. Praveen. I'm a 40-year-old high-functioning autistic male, and I've always had significant trouble and issues with approaching women and have been rejected countless times by women because of my speech impediment and the way I come across to others. I'm slowly learning to accept it, and there's a lot more to this life than a physical relationship with another human being of the opposite gender. Sarah. I'm 43 years old and I've never had a romantic relationship. Janiki. I was in a long-term relationship with a much older guy for the last half of my teen years, which was weird. For him being interested in such a young girl, but he did teach me a lot and he was respectful towards me. I think that relationship guarded me from a lot of nasty stuff that could have happened otherwise. Jeaners. I was always in abusive relationships, and I personally hate Valentine's Day. I'm not a cynic. I just know that I made so many harmful compromises to try to hold relationships with males who were not good people. I think part of this is the autistic experience of rejection and having to mask. I wish I could go back and advise the young woman that I was. Cecile. I was considered weird. The few times I've been asked out were not real. They were just laughing at me. So I got used to saying no without considering the idea, just to avoid being fooled again and again. I still don't understand what was so funny to them. They were probably just stupid or cruel. In early adulthood, it got better. Marky girl. I got to experience pretty privilege around my 10th to 12th grade when I had to grow up. I was putting on makeup, dressing femme and heavily because I started getting more attention from the opposite sex and played into it. So that's when I started having boyfriends and crushes reciprocate. For once, when prior I decided limerence over boys I liked. Looking back now, it exposed me to how terrible dating culture and navigating rejection and breakups is extremely difficult. But at the time, I thought that was normal, but we really do have a bad way of dating, and it's finally showing its true colors in recent times. But I managed to find a husband before it hit me how horrible society is about pursuing relationships in general. Thank you for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it. I know it's a little different from the last ones. Keep the conversation going. Go down there and comment about what your experience has been for love on the spectrum for you. Thanks for watching. Bye.